Yeah, it's already at half health. We'll be fine. Oh, The RuneScape map is split into chunks. I will restrict myself to unlocking one chunk at a time, only moving on when I've completed all of the content in my current chunks. The goal of this account is to unlock the entire map. This is ChunkManOnly, my one chunk at a time Iron Man. We left off last episode in the middle of our grind to 70 smithing. We were getting 70 smithing so we would be able to smelt the adamant ore loot from eclectic Gemplings in Puro, which we plan to unlock soon by going to Xanaris so we can get a dragon longsword. Once we got to level 70, we finished off the Keldigram chunk by stealing from the gym stall, doing some diary tasks, and doing as much of the giant dwarf quest as we could. Now I was ready to unlock a new chunk. If you remember from the end of last episode, we had discussed a potential issue with going straight to Xanaris. We would unlock both Cheldar and the mutated Zygomites, which would mean we'd have a level 57 Slayer goal and be forced to get a task from Cheldar to try and train Slayer. An alternative that we considered was going to Neve first before Xanaris. This would give us a level 60 Slayer requirement because of the aberrant specters in the Stronghold Slayer dungeon. Let's compare these two options to see which one we should pick. Here is a list of tasks that we could possibly get assigned from each Slayer Master. These are the ones we would have access to, and these are the ones that we wouldn't have access to. Most of the tasks on both sides could be unlocked with relatively easy chunks with not that much of a grind to worry about. The biggest exception to this is Banshees. We can't get to the Mauritania Slayer Tower, so we would need to unlock the Catacombs of Corinne, which has a whole host of high-level creatures, so this isn't even remotely feasible right now. Because of this, and since a lot of the Cheldar tasks would need the Stronghold Slayer Cave to be unlocked anyway, it makes much more sense to unlock Neve first. If you take a look at the potential task lists from Neve, there are two creatures that we wouldn't be able to access: Greater Demons and Black Demons. Black Demons could be unlocked with the Edgeville dungeon, which would be paired with a small Obor grind for some new best-in-slot rune gear. Greater Demons, on the other hand, are a bit trickier. Here's a list of all of the Greater Demon locations in the game. Out of all of these locations, only 2 would be accessible without forcing ourselves into a really long, inefficient grind: Intrana and the Ogre Enclave. If we were to only have the Intrana Greater Demons though, we would have to kill them with very limited combat options. Because of this, we want to unlock the Greater Demons in the Ogre Enclave. This requires unlocking a few chunks and doing part of the Watchtower quest. While 14 Herblore is a requirement for this quest, it turns out that you can actually get to the Ogre Enclave part of the quest without the Herblore requirement. Big thanks to Slay to Stay for testing this for me. So now that we knew that our goal was to get to Neve, it was time to start training. Neve has an 85 combat level requirement, so we got to work on that. First, we unlocked the Arceus Library and Dark Altar chunks so we could use our Ensouled Heads and get some prayer levels. And with that, we were on our way to 85 combat. During this long grind, Twitch chat helped me realize two places where we messed up in the past. First, we could have started Lost Tribe a while ago. We started the quest and got the brooch. The next step was to talk to Reldo, so that's all we needed to do for now. Secondly, we could have started What Lies Below a while ago also, as soon as we completed Rune Mysteries. It turns out that you need 35 rune crafting to start the quest, so we had to get 35 rune crafting. Thankfully, this didn't take too long, and once we started the quest, we were done since the next step was in the Edgeville chunk. With these small blunders out of the way, it was time to get to Neve. Before we could do that though, we needed access to Greater Demons and Black Demons. When considering what order to do things in, we also wanted to consider that unlocking Xanaris would give us access to the Dragon Longsword, which would be a huge upgrade from our current Rune Scimitar. Remember, we can't unlock Xanaris before Neve, but also if we unlock Neve after unlocking both Greater Demons and Black Demons, we'll have access to every task that we can get assigned. This means that we won't have any tasks that pause the grind, meaning we wouldn't be allowed to unlock new chunks the whole time, and we'd be stuck with the Rune Scimitar until 60 Slayer. We want to leave at least one task inaccessible before we unlock Neve, so we have a stopping point to go and unlock Xanaris. Since we need to unlock Intrana during the Lost City quest to get to Xanaris, you would end up unlocking the Intrana Greater Demons, which definitely isn't ideal. Because of this, we decided to unlock the Ogre Enclave before Neve. This means that we wouldn't be unlocking Black Demons until we get them as a task, so that we would have a stopping point to go get the Dragon Longsword. The Ogre Enclave also contains blue dragons though, which is a 66 crafting requirement. We wanted a better way to train crafting, so we unlocked the Corsair Cove chunks and completed the quest there. Now we had access to a charter shop very close to a bank, which would be really helpful in the crafting grind. Now we needed to start the Watchtower quest, which would give us access to the Ogre Enclave. Even though we technically had the quest start unlocked, we had no way to get to it. In order to get over there, we unlocked the Tree Gnome Village chunk, where we only had to start the Tree Gnome Village quest in order to move on. We started the Watchtower quest and unlocked the first chunk of the quest. We did as much of the quest as we could, and then unlocked the next chunk. We got to the part where we need to enter a cave in the southwest, which takes us to an island where we talk to an ogre. Before we unlocked the chunk with the cave though, I noticed that we need to give the next ogre we talk to some dragon bones. We currently don't have access to any dragons, and while we'll unlock blue dragons soon, we couldn't get to them yet. Thankfully, we were a few easy wilderness chunks away from some green dragons. So we unlocked the wilderness chunks, had a bit of a scare with Dragonfire while killing a green dragon. Got to 57 crafting, and made some vambraces. After this, we unlocked the chunks necessary to get into the cave, and gave the ogre his dragon bones. We then kept on with the quest, and finally unlocked the Ogre Enclave. This was all of the quests that we could do, so we were done with the chunk. Now, it was time to grind to 66 crafting. Well, since we had access to the Poison Chalice, we could actually just get 65 and boost one level. Getting to 65 crafting would require buying about 4,000 buckets of sand and soda ash and making battle staff orbs. And that's all the progress I have for this episode. I'm currently buying supplies and being very thankful that the hop limit was changed. One quick thing before I end the video. A few weeks ago, Last Man Standing got updated to give new rewards, which included God Halos. These halos would be best in slot prayer bonus in the head slot for me, and since I have the chunk unlocked, it should be a requirement for me to get them. This would be a long grind that I didn't anticipate. After talking it through with some viewers, we came up with a way to deal with things like this. If a chunk gets updated to have new content after I've already unlocked it, I'm allowed to decide to re-lock the chunk. From that point on, I'm no longer allowed to enter the chunk, and it functions as if I had never unlocked it at all. This seems to be the best option, as the point of this account is to theorycraft the best order to unlock the chunks in, and trying to predict which chunks will get updated is not something I want to worry about when theorycrafting. Let me know what you guys think about this rule. I'd like to apologize for the amount of time it took for this episode to come out. I took about a 2-week break while visiting family, and I've been dedicating more of my time towards working on my programming portfolio and trying to find a job. That being said, in order to make it easier for me to properly allocate time, I made a stream schedule about a week ago. I'll be streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and alternating weeks Friday and Sunday. I'll be live right as this video comes out, so if you want to come hang out, a link to my Twitch channel will be in the description. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons, Kyle Barry and Boogie Boy. I really appreciate your continued support, as well as the support from everyone watching my videos and tuning into the streams. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving it a like and subscribing to the channel. I'll see you all in the next video, or in the live stream. I hope you all have a great day.